Hey, how you doing? I'm Greg Lumley, and today I've just upgraded to version 2 firmware for the Fuji Xt2. And one of the things that interested me was the ability to adjust ISO from the front command dial. So there are a whole lot of different things that have been added. One of them is faster continuous auto-focusing. Another one was improved face tracking, and a couple of others. But the one that particularly caught my attention was the auto ISO. Now, interestingly enough, I never ever use auto ISO. But the one thing that I have missed occasionally is being able to take this dial over here and to be able to adjust the ISO setting without actually having to pull the camera away from my face and be able to actually, and have to literally play with buttons, so to speak. And when I found out that I would be able to adjust ISO from this button over here, let's see if I can get it to focus, there we go. I thought that would be awesome. So here's how you do it. First of all, you've got to upgrade the firmware. Well, that goes without saying, right? Next thing, what you're going to do is this. Where I got a bit unstuck is I changed that setting and the world was wonderful, and I was trying to use the front dial setting and nothing was happening. What I didn't actually realize is that you have to press the button in first. Now, you might know this, I didn't know this, so just in case you are one of those people like me who didn't know this, I'm hoping it helps you. So once you press the button in, you'll see the following menu will appear in your viewfinder, which will show you that you're changing from shutter, in my case, because I work Canon, so I've actually swapped them around and I control shutter over here. By default, the Fuji comes with shutter controlled over here, which is the Nikon way, but you can flip it. So mine is flipped, so my shutter is ordinarily controlled over here. You then press the button in and you'll actually see a little menu that'll pop up and it'll swap over to adjusting of the ISO. You adjust your ISO, and when you want to go back to your shutter, you simply press the button again and you can flip between the two. I think it's going to be a little bit confusing in the beginning, but as time goes by, it should become second nature. Another thing as well is that inside the menu of the Fuji, you've got auto ISO settings, and you have 3 settings that allow you to do a couple of things. Set up maximum ISO range, minimum shutter speed, and a bunch of things like that. I couldn't figure out how to change which of the 3 presets I was using, and it's done the same way. So you use the same ISO dial, and basically you go all the way to the top of the range past 25,000 and 50,000, and then after that it goes into those 3 auto ISO presets, A1, A2, A3, and so on. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things I noticed is that a minimum shutter speed can be selected for a specific auto ISO setting. And then I noticed that when I was in a dark environment, instead of that shutter freezing out at a 60th of a second, for example, it carried on going. I read in the Fuji manual that if it isn't able to expose properly, it will override it. But if there is enough light in that particular environment, it will lock off at that specified setting. I hope that makes sense. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to comment and do all the normal sort of stuff. Oh, and one more thing, please subscribe.